How you going?
I am doing I believe the correct term would be shit ton of DIY before I have to leave the house again. So,
Oh
yeah.
gosh. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, no, not an interruption at all. I appreciate your time. It's just, yeah, yeah. It's one of those projects that should have taken about maybe 4 or 5 days, but I'm on week 2 now.
Oh,
Um, every time I get close to thinking I'm done, my wonderful, loving, and amazing wife decides that she wants it a different way.
way. Yeah,
And
typical.
I'm sure in the grand scheme of things, she's absolutely correct because she's never been wrong in her life. Um, so I know it's the right route to go, but it is a little bit frustrating.
Oh, I can imagine. What do you do? What area of the house are you doing?
Master bedroom,
Ooh.
or yeah, the main bedroom.
Nice. Well, good luck with that.
I appreciate it. It's coming from the States where everything is 2x4 construction. It's all drywall 2x4. Um, living in England now, it has been such a learning curve doing DIY with walls that are stone and brick.
Yeah.
And the house is older than my country that I come
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
So there isn't a straight wall. There isn't the walls have they're like pregnant in areas and stuff.
Oh
And
God.
like when trying to do shelving and stuff, like I did build-ins around the fireplace, every shelf has to be individually cut because you have an angle over here and this angle and the back has an angle. And yeah, anyway, yeah.
No, that doesn't
We took it
sound
to a home
fun.
improvement episode. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah. England, home improvement. Oh,
Right.
yeah, I can only imagine. All right. Would you do me a massive favor, Ryan, and just kick off the interview by introducing yourself and then we'll go from there?
All right.
Sweet.
I am Ryan McCombs from the band Drowning Pool, and yeah, I'm here right now.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. It's great to have you. Can you tell us what your reaction was to being asked to do the tour with Alien Ant Farm and how it all came about?
It was I believe I got the email when I was in bed. I'd been asleep for a while because of the whole time difference between our booking agent in the States and myself living in England. And I picked up my phone and there was something in there about taking the place of the band that was previously in here, and then them turning it into a co-headline instead of a just an alien headline. And we were definitely interested because when we were making our plans for 2025, since rejoining the band, we'd spent the vast majority of our time in the States just hammering away at it because of just there was just a demand for the band, which was awesome. But we really felt like 2025 needed to be our focus. We wanted our focus to be overseas, and one of the places that we had high on our list was Australia because the band hadn't been there in so long.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something. I hate hot weather. I hate the summer. I hate everything to do with not doing anything but sweating my ass off. So I didn't want anything to do. I've been to Australia for festivals in the summer, and I've been there on a soil tour in the winter, and Australian winter, and I much prefer the Australian winter. So
Yeah.
I was wanting to go over, but at the same time, you never know when something like this arises. You want to jump on it because you never know when you'll get the opportunity or if the opportunity is going to arise again. So we definitely jumped on it and looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I'll stay inside where the air conditioning is, and it'll all be good.
yeah, good plan because it will still be a little bit hot in February, as I'm sure you know. What part of the States are you from then? Are you from a colder part or?
No, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Indiana.
Oh, wow.
But it had its seasons. It's in your 90s, tiptoeing into your 100 once in a while during the summer. But
Yeah,
it's got the snow and everything in the winter, so it's got all 4 seasons.
yeah.
But I've lived everywhere in the States. I've spent 5 years in Louisiana with the humidity, and you get home from tour and you got your honeydew list, and you're just like anything outside can wait till 2 a.m. because I'm not
Yeah.
there. everything out there. And I lived in Dallas, Texas for years with the heat that they have, and but I've also lived up north a lot as far as Iowa and Indiana and stuff. So I've now
Oh,
England because I hate the sun and gray skies don't bother me at all.
wow. Wow. Well, you're one of a few, I think. I would love to go to England, but being an Australian girl, I think the weather would put me off because it seems so miserable, but I hope you have a good time there.
It's right up my alley, but I believe your perceived perception of what it's like is probably more accurate. Yeah,
Yeah.
for most people.
And have you guys had the chance to rehearse with Alien Ant Farm yet?
No, we've done shows in the past.
Yeah.
I've been on tour with them before. The band we actually just did a show in Tennessee together. We had a show booked and they happened to be in the area and their people called our people. I was like, hey, how about us jumping on? And it made sense. So we just did a show with them in Tennessee. I want to say it was Tennessee, Nashville maybe.
Yeah.
um, just this past year. So we're all very familiar with each other. We've been around for we've all been around for a few days, so our paths have crossed many times.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And obviously you guys are pretty close friend wise as well to the band.
Yeah, there's members of both bands that have spent more time with each other than others. So there's definitely relationships there.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Um, and you guys have been to Australia before, as you were talking about. Is there anything, though, in particular you are looking forward to once you do come over here?
Not the sun. Um,
Got
I'll
it.
tell you what. Now, before I make a joke and another joke on my hatred of the burning orb of fire in the sky. Um, the rest of the band, we're talking all Dallas Texans, all Texas boys. There was at one point in time they talked about sending us to before this came about. We were planning on going to Canada during the same time frame. So
Oh,
the Texas boys were all about Australia. Like they were like, Ryan, fuck, whatever, screw off.
yeah.
We're going to Australia. We're taking
Oh,
they were all about Australia in the summer. So they're more, um, yeah,
yeah.
uh,
So they're
uh,
excited.
yes, and so am I. But
Yeah.
there's just I enjoyed myself so much because I was over last time I was over there. We were supporting was with the band Soil, and we were supporting Static X.
Hmm.
And just love the Static X guys. So anytime we're on the road with those guys, it's a good time. But it was great. It had been my first time over there doing shows outside of a festival atmosphere,
Yeah.
and so it was my first time experiencing a real Australian crowd, like show crowd. The festival crowds are a different beast, and so it was my first time, and it was such a great experience. And so I'm looking forward to that again.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing some family because my wife's got a sister over there,
Oh, wow.
and her husband, so we'll get to see them. And my wife actually lived over there for several years.
Oh,
But we so yeah, there's several different reasons to be looking forward to it. The sun is not any of them though.
it's not one of them. Yeah.
No, no, it's not.
We'll try and put the sun away or something when you're
Right,
here.
right. I'm sure. Good luck with that, man.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for you.
Thanks. um, what does it feel like for you, Ryan, being back with Drowning Pool?
It's great. When we parted ways, yeah, 137 years ago, or however long it's been now, um, it wasn't meant to be more than just a breather. The
Yep.
phone call between CJ and I was like, hey, you seem a little burned out. And I was like, yeah, I am. And they're like, how about we just take a little time off, kind of because we were road dogging it. We were on the road constantly, and it was like, yes, we need a little break. And then next thing you know, 13 years later, we're getting back together.
Yeah.
So it's great. I miss writing with the guys. One of my favorite album I've ever been a part of was the self-titled Drowning Pool record.
Yeah.
So I've always had a soft place in my heart for these guys, and just as friends, not just as fellow musicians, but as far as musicianship goes, I love making music with these guys and
Yeah.
being on stage with them. So I missed it, and it's good. We're having fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. And speaking of writing, making music with them, how did you find coming back to the band? How's it been? You've released a few more new singles lately. What was that writing process like? Was it easy to just get back into it?
Weird. It was weird. It was different.
Yeah,
It was we did a lot of things had changed since I'd been around, and so the writing dynamic had changed quite a bit, and just the way people it was just different. It was kind of a weird, it's kind of, a lot of years had passed, 13 years. You can imagine how much we all changed in 13 years.
yeah,
So the dynamic of the band within the band had changed, and the writing process. They kind of found new ways that they like to write, and things that worked for them in these stages of their lives. So it was very different than what it was back in the day, but it
yeah,
was but it was still awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
it was very cool. Yeah, I'm not dogging the new ways. I'm just saying it was different.
yeah.
Um, it was very unique, like the song Revolution. That was the first time in my career that I hadn't done like 99.9% of the lyrics. Even when it comes to lyric, we've always all been involved in the structure and stuff, regardless of whether it was CJ or Stevie that wrote the riffs. It was always all of us, Mike, CJ, Stevie, myself, involved in the structure of the song. Everybody putting their own flavors as far as their own instruments involved in it. One second, I'm so
Yeah, yeah.
sorry.
No, you're right.
Um, the uh, the I'm sorry.
That's
We've
okay.
got like I said, we got home improvement. I'm upstairs working. I've got a contractor downstairs. I just hear him going,
Ah,
"I'm leaving."
yeah. Good timing.
Um, wait, I hope you're done. But uh, it was my first time where we sat around the table speaking lyrically, and everybody threw out their
Yes.
concepts and where they knew what the main concept is that I had in my head as far as where I wanted the song to go. And uh, but everybody started throwing out lyrical, excuse me, lyrical ideas and lines and stuff, and we piecemealed it together. Not that's probably not the we took this idea and that idea lyrically, as far as words and lines, and put them together to aim towards what we wanted that song to say. And
Mhm.
it was the first time doing that, and it was interesting and it was fun to do. At the same time, it was different.
That's so awesome. And it's so good that, through all those years, even though you've all changed and your ideas have changed, that it worked and it came together and it was, yeah, something not better, but beyond what you guys had done in the past. I think that's really awesome. And it says a lot about you all too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely different, and I enjoyed the outcome.
Yeah.
I'm actually leaving Sunday to head back to the studio with the guys there in Vegas. So we are in the studio up until the time that we uh, hit the tarmac and head to Australia.
Oh, wow. That's intense. Musically, you've been a part of some really cool stuff. Some of your vocals have been featured in the Saw movie soundtracks. And then there's the WWE theme song as well. But what's been a favorite moment of your career as a singer?
It'll always be hard to beat the stuff that we've done with the military. Um, the USO shows in Iraq and Kuwait back in 2005, 2006, in the midst of the war going on there, was an experience, a very humbling experience. That I've gotten the opportunity to play just about every festival you can name, played in front of hundreds of thousands of people. It's and all those experiences and opportunities, and they've been such a privilege and I'm so thankful for every one of them. But those shows in Iraq and Kuwait in 2005, 2006 was such a humbling experience of just we played coalition bases. I've got in my office, I've got a plaque with challenge coins and badges and patches and stuff that soldiers tore off their own uniforms to hand us, and I've got like several Australian ones too because of some of the coalition bases we played at in Kuwait in 2005. And but my point being is for that time that you're on stage, you're playing in front of people. And some of these coalition bases, you're playing in front of people from Japan, Australia,
Yeah.
America, Canada, Britain, from all over. And you had in with every show, whether it was coalition based or not, you had R&B fans, country fans, rock fans, um, maybe some jazz fans. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, maybe they like the jazz flute. I don't know.
No.
But you had fans of everything out there, and it didn't matter because for that hour and a half that we were on stage, they weren't getting shot at, and they weren't worrying about having to shoot at anybody. They were at home at a rock show for that, and you saw it in their eyes and you saw it in their faces, and it was such a powerful thing to be a part of and to be able to be in a position to be able to do that was and to be asked to do that was awesome. And
Yeah.
we've kept those relationships with the USO, the MWR, the AFE, with all those different factions that do things for the serving military. I mean, just this past Christmas, we spent not this Christmas, it was actually the Christmas previous Christmas. We left December 23rd and got back January 3rd and spent the New Year's and Christmas over in Europe, over in Poland, playing bases for the troops that couldn't go home for the holidays.
Oh,
And
wow.
to be, yeah, we still have those. But anyway, yeah, long story. But to answer your question, that those experiences that we've had with the military are hard to beat. Just being able to give a piece of home to those men and women that are away from their homes and away from their families is it doesn't matter what you think about what they're doing. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're for or against whatever the case was, whenever it was that we were out doing our thing. That doesn't matter. What matters is we got to spend some time with some people that weren't able to be home. So.
How moving and incredible, really. I bet you never thought you'd experience something like that, playing to people going, in the military. And also, I know it's cliche, but I think there's no better that says that, music really brings people together in a way that, music can when not much else can.
Yeah, it's you said you nailed it right there. It is there is music out there for every emotion, for every situation and every walk of life and everything. And
Yeah.
it's one of the beautiful things about the ear candy that people produce and create.
Yeah, that's amazing. If you weren't a singer, what do you think you'd be doing?
I went to school for drafting, mechanical drafting and design technologies.
Oh,
Uh, so I'd probably be sitting in an office somewhere designing some piece of machinery that made some widget that fitted into a bigger widget that made some other widget do something. I don't know. Um,
yep.
some some very important job for those out there that do it, but something that I probably would have uh, I probably would have beat my head against the wall a couple times by now. I,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I would have been home for I've been home for a lot of holidays that I missed, and I would have been home for a lot of first walks and first days of school and stuff like that with the kids that I missed over the years. So I don't know. Yeah,
Still.
I
What
don't
your
know.
career is pretty cool either way.
Yeah, it's funny with when you are a parent doing this, you go through phases with the kids where your job is cool, and then they realize it's your job that keeps you away from home, and then your job sucks. And then when they get older and their friends think that their dad's job is cool, then your job's cool again. Um,
Yeah.
so so I've got two kids of my own. I from a previous relationship, I raised another boy and for several years, and then I've got a stepson now for the past 7 years, and so I'm very accustomed to the phases of how cool my job is or
Yeah.
isn't, depending on
Yeah.
the age of the
You will
child.
get told how cool or
Oh
not
yes,
cool it is. Yeah.
you may not get told, but you'll feel it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that leads me to my next question, actually. On the road touring, do you consider, like, are you known to be a bit of a partier or do you like to rest and recover?
Nowadays, I'm more of a rest and recover.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I enjoy my beverages. But it's more, back in the day, it was wheels off. I mean, I think CJ and I were giving Steven. I'd say Steven Tyler and Joe Perry their run for the
Comfortable.
moniker of the Toxic Twins, but we weren't necessarily toxic as much as we were just alcohol induced. We
Yeah,
were in that realm. Um, but we've all slowed down and as the years have passed and we can't do. I mean, hell, I had a stroke what 10 years ago, so we don't quite carry on the way we used to. We can't,
no,
you know.
no.
Life
Jeez.
reminds you real quick that you're mortal.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm 30. I turned, well, no, I lied. I'm 32. And it's just funny how in my 20s I thought I was invincible. And now I'm literally like, my whole body aches and creaks and like, I can't party anymore.
Yeah, yeah. After a couple, like a week
Yeah.
and a half here of DIY, and I feel like that I've been dragged out in the street and beaten with a bat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It sucks. um, what's something you dislike about the music world today and that you hope can change?
I don't know. I don't think there's a point in focusing on what I don't like about it because there's not going to be any changing of that. I just I hope, I hope that something could happen that young bands and young musicians, I think they have more of a chance, more of an opportunity now than they did when we started.
Mhm.
Because you had yeah, there was tons of labels, but it was hard to get those labels attention. Nowadays, a lot of musician stuff get noticed on like YouTube and stuff, and
Mhm.
don't even have to worry about getting a record label and stuff like that. So it's unique nowadays. There are different avenues, not worse, not better necessarily, but different and more of them, I believe. But what I wish is I wish that young musicians and young artists had a better shot at longevity and people to the consumer today. And I'm not pointing fingers because I'm a consumer. But consumers today, we're so privy to being told what we like, and that changes every three
Yeah,
months. And so it's the same thing with music. So many, so many, I hear so many good bands come out, and I'm just like, man, it sucks because you're just like, you're not going to hear about them in 6 months from now. And it's a sucky part of the reality of just the society that we live in today.
totally. Yeah. And I totally agree with you. And I think that it's kind of unfair for a lot of these younger, newer people coming out and trying to make a name for themselves because there is so many bands trying to do that and being successful on social media, which is great. But then a lot of them get drowned out by the ones that are pushed, either by the media or by, what's
Right,
popular.
right.
Yeah. Um, Bodies is freaking iconic. What are your thoughts on playing the song? Do you ever get tired of it?
Absolutely not. Um,
Awesome.
uh, if it wasn't, people don't realize, and it's one of those little feathers in my cap that I love. It's something the three highest charting American radio songs that the band ever did was songs that we did together. It was Turn So Cold, 37 Stitches, and Feel Like I Do. But the band will always be the Bodies band. I mean, to this day, someone will be like, "What band are you in?" Drowning Pool.
Well,
And every once in a while, you'll get somebody who goes, "Huh?" I'll be like, "Bodies, let the bodies hit the floor." Oh yeah, I love that song. It's my favorite song. Yeah, it's your favorite song, but you don't know who the fuck played
it is.
it.
Yeah,
But it'd always be the Bodies band, and that's awesome. Dave Williams is one of my best friends in the business. He's the only man whose name is tattooed on my body, and that was before he passed. And it was or no, I'm sorry, that'd be weird. But my youngest son is named after Dave. He was one of my favorite human beings in the industry.
Oh,
Um, and so any chance that anything that he does, every night that we get to do Tearaway, Bodies, Sinner, Mute, any of the songs that he had a hand in creating, it's a special moment. It's great. So Bodies, being the Bodies band, thank God, man. We're around because of that song. At the end of the day, that we're around for two reasons: that song and the fact that people give us the time of day and have kept us around. So bring it on. Keep us around and keep playing that song. It's fine with me. I don't. It's awesome.
that's lovely. Lovely and so well said. And I'm glad that that's your perspective on it. And you've, turned it into a positive. It's like, yeah, we are the Bodies band. That's right.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Bodies, maybe I would be in that office designing some widget. I don't know.
Yeah. um, and you guys have just dropped a new single. Is this the first of more music to come?
Oh yeah, like I said, we're in the studio. I fly out Sunday for the studio, and the plan is to drop a few more singles, and then we'll put a body of work together. And so 2025 is going to be not only concentrating on overseas shows, but getting new music pumped out there.
Awesome. We can't wait for it. And speaking of music, what are you listening to at the moment? What has really captured your attention?
Man, I'm gonna go real recent. We were just on the road with oh, I can't remember Cody's last name. He goes by his name, Cody. Ah, damn it. If you're curious out there and you want to hear something really cool, I think he reminds me a little bit of like Clutch. Is he's
Oh,
kind of got a Clutch type vibe to some of his
yeah.
to me, his live stuff because that's what I got turned on to, and I went back and listened. I'm trying to find the music that I heard live, and I'm not having luck with that. But live, the dude is so. If you're interested, find out what the last U.S. run that Drowning Pool did with a guy named Cody. That dude is awesome. He's a solo
Jasper.
guitar player, singer.
Oh, Cody Jasper?
Yes, that's
Ah, my
exactly it.
husband just chimed in and said, Cody
Ah,
Jasper.
yes, that is it. He is worth tuning into. Red Star was also on that bill, and we had a great time with both those bands, and had a and both of them just kicked the horse's hind end every night. So definitely want to give them guys props. But we've had the opportunity to be on the stage with several new. Above Snakes is another band that we spent some time, a new band that we spent some time with in the
Mhm.
past year. A lot of young, again, probably the big reason that what my answer was just hoping that something can happen, that these bands have a chance for a longevity, a long career, because they're talented and they deserve it.
Yeah, good on you. That's awesome, giving them the spotlight. Love it. If you were on WWE, what would your entrance song be? I don't know if you are you a fan of the show or
Uh, what's that? I like big butts. No, I don't know. I have no idea. That would
that's
be
an original
hilarious if
one.
that was somebody's intro song, though. What the hell would you do? That would be like Carlito's intro song, maybe. I don't know. Like
Yeah, yeah.
back in the day.
Carlito Caribbean, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Now I'm being a bit of a nerd and showing you how much I used to love wrestling.
Hey,
But
I pulled
anyway,
Carlito out there. Come on
yeah.
now.
That was a good one. How do you guys push past any negativity thrown at you? And do you have any advice for other artists on how to deal with that?
Regretfully, the world is full of a lot of different people. I mean, I wish they could all be intelligent, more like me, but no, I had to pull a little t Team America there. No, the world is full of different people, and that's an absolutely awesome thing. Um, but there is a large faction of people out there who thrive and survive off of negativity.
Mhm.
And yeah, I know recently I've seen stuff from people within that toxic environment that they call Hollywood, bitching about how social media is destroying movies before they even have a chance to come out. And they're absolutely right. I mean, they tear a movie apart before its release date, and nobody goes and sees the damn thing.
Mhm.
But there are people out there that just they live to be negative, and nothing we do is ever going to change
Mhm.
that. And social media now gives them a louder voice than they've ever had.
Mhm.
And you just got to realize you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to be you. You got to do your thing, and not everybody's going to like it. And some people are going to dislike it just because that's the way they're programmed, and that's for some reason that's their sick, twisted way of getting off in the world. And you can't do a damn thing about that. You just got to do what's right for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well said, well said. Um, why is drowning pool important to you?
And my friends,
Awesome. That's so
yeah.
sweet. Love that.
I want to see those guys in every walk of life. You know, you want to see your friends do well, and this is something that I get to be a part of. That it makes me feel good when I see a smile on their face. And I mean, you look at Drowning Pool, you look at the history of Drowning Pool. Not many bands have been through more, and
Yeah.
to see these guys enjoying what they're doing at this stage in their career is it's awesome to be a part of that.
Oh, that's so lovely. Okay, I've got a heap more questions, but we've got to wrap it up. Ryan, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today. We're so psyched to see you in Alien Ant Farm here in February. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for your time, Angela. I much appreciate you keeping artists like myself connected with the people that allow us to do what we do. So thank you.